Hey friends, welcome to Chime Coaching. Rob here. We've got some great friends here from UTA. We've got someone who does the hiring on campus jobs and a student who's actually been hired. So they're going to tell their unique stories and a perspective from the hiring manager on what you need to do to get jobs here in America on campus. Check it out. All right, thanks for joining us, you guys. This video is going to really help you out, especially about on-campus jobs. We'll let our friends go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hello everybody, my name is Divyanshu. I'm from New Delhi, India, and at UTA I'm pursuing MSSRN and MBA Human Resource Management. It's a dual degree program, and currently I work for Chartwell's UTA Dining. My job description is to hire people and to schedule interviews to the manager. I'm not the hiring manager though. I'm the human resource intern, so I assist the HR director with the hiring procedures. So I'm familiar with the entire hiring procedure.
Awesome. That's great. Thanks for correcting that.
Hi there, I'm Nishi. I'm from Ahmedabad and I'm pursuing computer science over here at UTA. So I'm just gonna put in the perspective that how to get hired and what are the major keys for that.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And what's on your shirt?
Yeah, this is Friends.
Yeah. Comment below if you love Friends. Lots of international students love Friends. So yeah. I'm loving that she's wearing that shirt today. Okay, so let's jump in. Divyanshu, just walk us through what is the hiring process that students need to know when they're wanting to get an on-campus job here at UTA or at other colleges or around the US.
So the very first step is that you guys have to apply online. So behind me we have the UTA Taiwan campus website. So you have to submit your online application. You go to opportunities and there'll be a lot of job opportunities, on-campus opportunities and internship opportunities as well. The very first thing that they have to do is submit their online application, because even if we are doing walk-ins and if they do not submit their online application, then we would not be able to extend them offers, and we would not be able to work on their social securities and all of that. So first step is apply online. Even if you're doing a walk-in interview, even if you're directly going to a manager and he gives you a white offer letter, the very first step is apply online.
Question real quick, do you guys use Handshake?
We do. We are on Handshake for internship opportunities. Yes, we are on Handshake. But then majorly for the on-campus jobs, we use this Taiwan campus website.
So some colleges use Handshake. Mm-hmm. Some want you to apply directly online.
Yes.
So it's good to know which your college does.
Yeah, we are on Handshake as well. But for campus opportunities, you have to go to the Taiwan campus website. Yes. But for internships and other full-time opportunities would also be there over here. I would highly recommend you guys to use this website over any other website. Again, apply online. Once I have your application, I would schedule an interview of you with the person who has applied, the candidate, with one of our managers. Now, a lot of people lose patience. A lot of people, when they apply, they kind of think that, I have not been given any email for interviews, so probably I do not have this campus job. So my advice as an HR intern at Chartwells would be, please be patient with the entire hiring process. It's a long process. We guys have to do your international background check. We guys have to do your background check here in the States. It also has to be done. It takes time. It's a long procedure. Please be patient with us. If you have questions, the managers here at UTA Dining and everywhere where Chartwells is, they love to interact with people. I get paid to interact with people and to answer their questions. So I absolutely love that. If you have questions, do let us know. We would absolutely love to answer it. So once you have submitted your online application, I will schedule an interview of the candidate with the manager. Once they have cleared that interview, now that interview is very, very easy to clear. Trust me on that. It's not like a job interview or an internship interview where you will be asked a lot of questions. It's just based on first impressions. Mm-hmm. So for example, if I'm meeting you, what is going to be my first impression of you? Would I see you as a customer friendly person or not? Mm-hmm. Are you smiling while you're talking, or are you
lots of smiles, right?
We want people like that. We want people who are enthusiastic, who are
friendly.
Friendly. Yeah, that's the right word. Mm-hmm. Are very passionate. They can handle multiple priorities. They can work on campus. They can manage their studies. Now, again, you are coming to the US. Please do not be that sort of person who's just I'm here for my studies and I'm just going to focus on my academics and that is the only thing that I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. Do not do that. We have so many opportunities available on campus. This working at Starbucks, that is what I started with on minimum wage. I would
cheers.
Yay! Working at Starbucks, I was a barista.
You got us the awesome discount.
Thanks to you.
Yeah, I was a barista last semester, and I loved that experience. It was such a good experience. There were a few customers that I got very, very friendly with, and I knew what their orders were. Mm-hmm. So they used to come and I was like, "Hey, latte for you," and they were like, "Oh, it was so impressive."
Usual
usual drink, and then it's kind of I love interacting interacting with people and building relationships. That's why I chose human resource management over any other field of management. So yeah, it's going to be a great experience, and please be patient with it. Once you receive the official email offer, along with the official email offer, you would also receive a mail about background check. Now that is a link that expires whenever you get a background check mail here in the US, I guess. And correct me if I'm being very generic here over here. Whenever you get a mail for background check, you have to do it like immediately because that link would expire. And once it expires, we HRs have to like go through the entire process again. You guys also lose patience. You guys become frustrated. You're like, what is happening? So once you receive background checks for any job, for internships, or anything, whenever the link is there, just do it immediately so that it's done, processed, and now you can move to the next step. Most of the people, not most of the people, every person who is coming to the US would not have a social security. They would not have a social security, and a lot of people do not know what social security is. So it's
SSN.
SSN, yeah, the short form. So you guys need to have social security before you start beginning to work in the States. Unless you're doing an off-campus job, do not do off-campus.
Yeah, those are big no-no.
No, do not work off-campus. We'll talk about that separately someday. You need social security if you're legally working here in the States. So SSN takes time. There's a pink form that gets submitted, and it takes like 2 weeks to do your international background check. Once that international background check is processed, then you can actually go to the Social Security office and say that, this is my on-campus employment letter, and this is my pink form, my background has been cleared, and give me social security. It takes like 2 weeks for your international background check. It takes 4 to 5 days for that to be cleared. For your social security, it takes maximum 2 weeks. For your social security to come, maximum 2 weeks.
And they have to go to a separate office for that, right?
Yeah, they have to go to social security office for that. So make sure that you have like the entire documentation that you need for your social security in order to get your social security. Mostly people who are working at the international office, here we call it Swift Center. I don't know what they call it at UTB. What do they call it at
the ISSO.
Okay, every different names everywhere. So here at UT Arlington, we call it the Swift Center, and you need to submit all of your documentations there. And the Swift Center is going to give you a checklist, just in case if they do not give it, ask them for the checklist, because you do not have to go to Social Security Administration and then when they're asking you for documents, you're like, oh, I do not have this paper, I forgot to bring this, I forgot to bring that. So make sure whenever you're going, you are giving your time, you're spending money on Uber rides. Do not use Uber rides. Also take UTA rides, which are kind of like very, very cheap in comparison to Uber rides, yeah, of course. I mean, have all of your documentation ready, and then it's going to take 2 weeks for your maximum 2 weeks for your social security to be done. Once your social security is to be done, then it's the I-9. I-9s, of course, everybody who has worked full time here in the States, we have like a document that you have to complete I-9, and it needs to be completed within the first 3 days of your hire, and it has a deadline. It needs to be done. So if you are not there within those 3 days of your first hire, then it's going to take a lot of time. It's just going to delay process. So make sure that you're there. Once your I-9 is there, then we would send you the clock-in ID, which is like a unique number that you punch in and punch out, because every job on campus, especially UTA dining, and I guess other library jobs, and other than resident assistant and teaching assistant and research assistant, those people are salaried people. But these jobs, they are all hourly basis, so you would get a clock-in ID. I guess at the library as well, we have like a clock-in ID wherein you kind of like punch in your number that this was the time when I was here, and then when you after every 4 hours you have to take a meal break. So that's the Texas law. I guess that's the federal law, I guess. After every 4 hours you have to take a meal break if you are an hourly worker, and then you have to punch in and punch out. So in total you need to have 4 punches throughout the day. So that is the thing. Once you get your clock-in ID, you're all set. That's how you start to get paid.
And you start earning those dollars. All right, we'll close with one thing. Divyanshu, what's maybe the 1 or 2 biggest differences that you would say are in the interview process here in America versus back home in India that someone should know about?
Okay, so definitely a recommendation would work more here in America than in India. Definitely that. And then I do not know. So are you asking about my major in particular, or food service interviews?
Like in general.
Okay, in general, like talking about like, because I'm an intern over here at UTA Dining. So what we see over here is like seeing a customer friendly person, a person who's like smiling all most of the time when he's talking. Whether he would be friendly when he would interact with customers, and is he open to learn new skills, and kind of like we look for a person who can prioritize, right? And so, for example, if you have people coming in here, I had a candidate who came to my office in the morning and he was like, the only time that I'm available to work is 9 to 11, I guess he said, on Wednesday. That is the only time that I'm available because I want to work during that time. And then he said, not available, not available, not available, not available, for throughout the, like, for all the days. And then I was like, dude, there is like zero probability that you would clear your interview if you give this schedule to a manager, because having that kind of like a wedge shifts available during the time that is based on your availability and convenience, that would definitely not work out. It has to be according to this food service, their availability and convenience. So kind of be flexible. You are here in the States, just kind of like learn to manage multiple priorities at the same time, and it's everything would act to your benefit only. You're developing your skills. You're also improving your knowledge, skills, and abilities about everything when you're interacting with different people. Again, that thing is there. In India, I've experienced that if you're like talented about one particular thing, like if I'm a human resource person, if I know the employment laws in India, if I'm like very, very well familiar with it, they would kind of like accept me in the company. And here, if I know like computer programming as well, because they never know that I might do research in human resources and I need computer programs over here, knowledge of statistics when you're doing HR metrics and analytics, all of that. So kind of like having knowledge about different fields, like not being like not having like complete subject matter expertise in one particular field. That is also good. Now again, I'm not denying that would act as a disadvantage. That would definitely act as an advantage. But then if you have like knowledge about different other fields, that is very, very helpful. So again, that is one of the differences.
So in addition to that, like you asked, what is the key differences between India and USA hiring process? What I feel is as an applicant, like in India, it's only based on merit. Like suppose you want to, in my college back there in the bachelor's, if you want to be a teaching assistant, your GPA is the highest, like 4.0. If you got the 4.0, you are the teaching assistant. But over here, even with the 3.5 GPA, if your repo is good with the professor, and if you are good in communication skills with the students, and if you are good in explaining things, you get that. The main thing is like, that's the thing, reference connections. That's what, even like who is currently is a teaching assistant, if your connection is good with that person, he will refer to you, and obviously professor is going to prefer you over somebody who is not referred. So I think that is the key difference over here. The merit, as far as you're above average or above some level.
Having said that, GPA is important.
But it's not the only thing.
Exactly.
You can have just an average GPA and still get a good job if you have good people skills.
Yeah, exactly.
So, man, that is such good advice. Nishi, Divyanshu, thanks so much. You guys follow their tips, the process. They have the expert advice to help you guys out in getting those jobs here. That was just incredible. I totally believe what they were saying for. Thanks so much for joining us at Shine Coaching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can get other great videos just like this, learning from them, and connect with us online on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, because we want to help you guys out, be successful here. That's how it started. He messaged me on LinkedIn, and today we're making a video.
Exactly.
So it's all about the connections. We're having fun, and we'll see you guys next time at Shine Coaching. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.